We have some other things to discuss this morning, including the fact that you really just don't hate the news media enough. So, a lot of people in my circles know who the Unsubscribed podcast is. They know who Angry Cops is, Brandon Herrera, etc. Okay. Look. I don't care how many times they burp. And as long as they're not, like, stumbling over themselves, I don't care how much they drink. If something comes out of the works that some kids are being hurt at a school and the school is not doing their job as a mandated reporter, and before people get out there and say, oh, that's just the minority. Okay, you're free to believe what you want. Okay? Go to Bush, Alaska, go to their schools. In fact, you could get on the Alaskan Avenger, go get a hold of JD DeLay, and you could ask him this one simple question. How many times has the legal system, the village system, and the school system covered up? Forget, I'm going to get in trouble with YouTube for using this word, but we'll use a different word for it. Ape, insect, and bath salt. And if you don't know what those three rhyme with, go back to school. And I'm kind of pissed off at YouTube at the fact that I have to censor myself in such a dumbass way. In fact, fuck the censorship. I'm going to call it like it is. You go out to Bush, Alaska, and the whole system is rigged up to protect the predators against the prison sentence that they could get for rape, incest, and assault. And before people get out there and say, oh, that's violating YouTube terms of service. No, it's not. It is actually how they are listed off as crimes in the U.S. Federal Code of Justice, as well as every state code of justice in these United States. And YouTube can suck a nut on that note, because I will use them as they are legally called. Anyway. The school systems are incentivized against actively reporting these things to the criminal justice system. And it's not just through sexual assault. What is it called? What do they call it there? It's called SAM insurance, but I forget what the acronym stands for. But it's basically insurance against kids getting abused at the school, right? So not only do they not have to deal with it, the kids get abused and the parents get a payout, and it's just the insurance that gets the hit, right? That's not the only thing. See, they're incentivized against reporting these things because if the report makes its way through the legal system, the school takes a hit, a massive hit, both in reputation but also in funding. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, okay? If you can't keep the kids that you're charged with safe, you don't deserve a penny, in my eyes. And that's the way a lot of people think. The problem is that it incentivizes that mindset, and that process disincentivizes them from actively reporting and cooperating with the law on 90% of these cases to any degree. So if it hurts their reputation, they're going to hide behind it because they're more concerned with that big old paycheck than they are keeping your kids safe. Okay? And people out there, there's going to be a few teachers out there who get mad at what I said, But I'm going to look at you square in the camera right now, and I'm going to look at your face and tell you and say, really, you don't have a coworker that's just there for the fucking paycheck? We've all worked in those kind of businesses before. And I can tell you for a fact that teaching is no different than any other profession. We got to get things set up a little bit here. I got to grab the pop-out chat, get the share link so I can ship it over to Twitter and Facebook. And I stand by what I said in a YouTube comment, and I know that's kind of a dumb thing to do. But here's the thing. For every one case that you see in any sort of assault, whether it be involving a church, a school, a private person, right? For every one case you do see, there's two that you don't. And that's, as disgusting as it is, it's kind of the truth. So, I don't have any of the links necessary, but if you've got YouTube or Rumble, go find the Unsubscribed podcast. Go look up the video that says your kids are in danger. Watch the video. Listen to what he says. And then go watch the despicable news coverage that is associated with it. If you fuckers in the news are more concerned with people burping and drinking on a podcast versus the fact that these kids could very well be in danger, you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Quit being part of the fucking problem. Stop defending your fucking school district and start reporting the news the way that you're supposed to. The way that you used to years ago. Okay? We don't give a damn who from your school district is rubbing your fucking nuts in the background with fucking $100 bills. That's your fucking problem. If you can't be objective in your reporting of the news, then you need to go flip burgers at Burger King. Because that's where your credibility's at. I don't know what his name was. I don't really give a damn. I'm not going to give him the credit of being on the news or being a journalist, if you can call him that. I see a scumbaggy piece of shit. That's what I see. And I can say that with the utmost confidence, and here's the problem. And here's why I can say that with the utmost confidence. It's not because I know him personally. It's because I know the stats behind school abuse. I know the stats behind church-based abuse. I know the stats behind abuse in Bush, Alaska, and anywhere else. Anyone can get away with this shit. And I'll tell you right now, it's disgusting, but it's true. Wherever people can get away with it, they'll try to get away with it. Schools included. In fact, I'd argue that schools are actually probably going to be your biggest problem zone because they are a trusted place for parents to drop their kids off to get where they're supposed to be getting an education. And... what, baby? And, because of that, we, as parents, we trust these public school systems to do right by us. And sure, these attacks might not be in the majority, meaning over 51% of the time. But the problem is that even 10% is too much. Hell, 0.5% is too much. Okay? The fact that it's happening at all is a fucking problem. These shouldn't be happening at all. And schools especially should not be. Schools should not be covering this shit up. I'm going to tell you a little story about Bush, Alaska. I'll tell you about a superintendent who lost his job. I'm not going to say the school because of respect for the rest of the school board and the rest of the people involved. There was a case some years ago in Bush, Alaska about a white teacher. Okay? And race is important in this story because if it was anyone native, it probably never would have been sought after in any sort of court. Was a white teacher out in Bush, Alaska who, not one, not two, but 3 underage students, one in her mid to late teens, one who was about 12, and one who was about 6. Now, that might sound insane to people from the lower 48, but here's the thing. In Bush, Alaska, we didn't really have age-separated schooling because of the size of the schools in some towns. When you only have 12 students, why are you going to have 3 different teachers for, the different age groups when one teacher can do all of the above, right? Well, this one teacher was in an all-native town. And he was molesting 3 different age students. And when the parents of these students found out, the state police had to forcibly extricate him from the town before they quite literally crucified him in the middle of their town. This man was a superintendent who was filling in for the teacher of that school. And guess what? He's no longer a superintendent. Don't remember his name. Okay? So while I would enjoy to see him get some prison justice for what he did, I'm sure he probably already has it because of how the Alaska prison system used to be. I'm pretty sure he's more than seen his fill. Actually, he hasn't, and he never will. You could leave people like that in prison for the rest of their natural lives, being sodomized by the biggest black person with the biggest broomstick they can get their hands on, and it still wouldn't be enough. So yeah. There's that. Anyway, the point is that if you people in the lower 48, and I have to include myself amongst you now because I've been down here for over 10 years. Actually, been down here for about 20. If we had the same mentality, cutscene, as the people in Bush, Alaska do when it comes to this shit, the chances of it happening would be far less.
I am strife. I am death. I am Simu Wrath, and I am your end. Your false god cowers in her Sith world, scheming to profane a true throne. Defy me. Lift your blade to mine. Let their edges clash.
Lady, I'm laughing at your ass.
Raise a hand to the god of war.
Oh, it's fine. Him's a fuzzy visitor. I got it, baby. Him's a fuzzy visitor. He's a part of the show. He's a daily part of the show every time I'm on. I almost think people like Magnus more than they do me. Actually. We gotta trim that.
Yes, we do.
So, I don't actually remember playing Clash, but okay. Well, I mean, if someone has access to my Destiny 2 account, they're actually kind of doing me a favor. That one. Yeah, that's what I was working on last time. Yeah. And completing it would get me the thing that I do need desperately. Alright. Complete Act 3, Part 1. Part 2. There is no Part 3 there. Okay. So as far as the story stuff goes, we're just about caught up. I've only got like 1.5 more to get caught up on. So what does that entail? Oh. Just killing Hive or Lucian Hive Guardians. Okay. I think we're just gonna unhighlight those because it's not important right now.
What mission are you playing?
The story missions.
What part of the game are you at right now?
Just doing the seasonal stuff. It's episodic this time, so let me pull up so I can explain it a little bit better. This. So each week, basically, we've gotten one of these, which is a seasonal challenge, but they're storyline stuff.
Okay.
You have to buy the season pass for like $10 to do the stuff after you've got the, DLC and everything else. Actually, I don't know if you need the DLC for the season pass to work. I'd have to look into that. But, basically, I'm trying to get all these done. As much of these as I feel like doing so far. And the reason for that is because of this little item right here. It lets me get blueprints basically for weapons that I can build and customize. Oh, that's a cute bunch of little baby owls. Except the one on the bottom looks like a stuffed pet animal thing.
I know, but it's not. There's just a bunch of little faces and they're adorable.
So effectively, what I've been doing is I've been jumping in here to explore the ship. So I can cap as many of the Hive. Alright. It's very hard for me to explain this without having you played the most recent activities and stuff. In this game, some of the bad guys can use some of this, or basically most of the abilities that you can when it comes to using light abilities, courtesy of Savathun. One of the, I'm not even sure if she's a bad guy or just some twisted twat who's constantly just trying to cause trouble. Anyway, the point is that there's a group of the aliens called the Hive, and some of them can become Lucian Hive, which allows them to use light abilities, and they basically have their own versions of supers that they can go after you with. I have to kill a certain number of those, so I've been trying to figure out where, well, I know where the best place to go after it is, and that would be doing one of these. Because it's somewhere in this particular DLC. Excuse me.
You're excused.
There is a Lucian Hive that happens quite a bit. That's one of the tasks that I have to do. There are about 3 others. Now, Lucian Hive, they sound more intimidating than they actually are. I mean, yeah, they're a threat, but they're not, like, the worst thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. They suck because they have ghosts, and you have to use a finisher on the ghost to make sure they don't come back.
Yeah.
But outside of that, they're not that bad.
I see. I'm gonna see if I can try to untangle that rope. I might not be able to, but I'm gonna try.
You're not going to be able to because it's wound up inside the mechanism for the curtain itself. And I'm having some pretty serious V-Sync issues here.
Some of these, pieces together. You want a peek?
Make sure that it's still on. Yeah, it's on for 60. Then why am I getting vertical separation like that? I mean, if this was on my Nintendo Switch, I'd be fine with it, but...
Don't fall. I'm not going to.
I still got the splitting going on. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, whatever, nerd.
Why don't we just take it right now, because we're gonna be putting the fan in there pretty soon.
Graham, no.
Can we behave while people are streaming, please? Your phone just did the triple buzz.
It's just a notification.
I hope so.
It is. If it was continuous buzzing, it would be my phone ringing.
Ugh. Just concerned it could have been a text message.
Well, that just happened.
Can we, deal with that later?
Yeah.
Please? Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you, but, when I said something was broken, I'm not kidding, it's broken.
I know. I want to just see how far it could go, and it's just gone. It ain't even.
I can appreciate your want to fix something, but it's not worth trying to fix. The curtain is older than my daughter by a factor. Okay. Oh, yep, these guys count. These are an example of what I was talking about. I have to obtain those runes. I'm at 83 out of 100. Wait, what did that one say? Oh, that's easy. That's no big deal. Just grab a sword and a glaive and just go ham in the nether. Not a problem. But where I'm still kind of in Borderlands 3 Tears of the Kingdom mode, I gotta kind of butter up my hands a little bit for Destiny 2. I'm not really... There's so much going on IRL that I'm not really feeling this game today, but it is a scheduled game and I will be here for the schedule. That's my commitment to my audience and to my fans. All, like, what, 40 of you? Across the different platforms that exist. Some of whom I know are probably botted accounts, but that's okay. Well, it's not really okay. I really don't like the thought that some of the people on my stuff are artificial. But it is what it is. Maybe we can get lucky and Staples will show up. Kind of a repeat customer, so to speak. Oh, give me my Sparrow. I don't remember this. I don't remember this map very well, so pardon me if I get turned around a few times. Nope, you're on your own. I'm not rezzing you in a patrol area, and I'm not sorry for doing it that way. I got quests to do before reset. I want my deep sight activation. Too many active players over here. Okay. I just found this thing called Memory of Rage, and I have no idea what it's for. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It's not what I'm here for. Just a reminder to the audience, I will have to, I don't know if I will, but I may have to clock off of here at any point in time to go deal with some IRL stuff. I don't want to leave the stream open and just leave it hanging with you guys just looking at a blank screen, so I'll just shut down the stream when this event happens. The hope there being that if I do that, or when I do that, it'll be because my vehicle is ready to be paid for, which is the only thing that I'm really doing today, is hopefully getting my vehicle back, because I'm kind of tired of, kind of hit my waiting point, you know? I mean, I don't have a choice but to wait for the car because it's our only vehicle, but, like, there again, it's the only vehicle. That's not an e-bike, so... Oh, I forgot that I was pushing forward.
Yep.
And fell off a cliff. You know, so because of that, I don't want to put pressure on the mechanic, but at the same time, like... It's the one vehicle that we have, and my grandmother, whom I do take care of, does have the occasional doctor's appointment, and I need to be able to get her to those. I mean, they aren't right away, but, like, you know, we need to make sure that she can make those, because she's my grandmother, and I'd actually be quite upset if anything were to happen to her, given that she's one of about 2 remaining grandparents. You know, that I have alive right now. The other one's my mom's mom, and I mean, I certainly don't wish any ill will on her, but we don't exactly get along the greatest. Which is unfortunate, but it is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You can't get along with everybody. And the sad part is that she's not even technically wrong about why she disagrees with how I live my life. If you're a Christian of any sort, you know that my history is not exactly in line with the Christian faith. The difference there is that I refuse to let my history dictate my further faith. And my ability to mature and grow up as a Christian and a human being. Whereas she kind of seems content to drudge up the past at every turn. She does it to my mom too, which is kind of annoying. You know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can drudge up the past just as well as anyone else can, but it's just like, every time I go to see you, it shouldn't be every time I go to see you. I should be able to go see my grandmother without having to be guilt-tripped because of the mistakes that I've made as far as my relationships and stuff goes. Because those are past relationships. They're not how we're doing things now. We're doing things completely different now. I mean, does it suck that I have a kid or two out of wedlock? Absolutely, sure. Because I'm more mentally designed to be full-time parent, not, you know, not just part-time dad. But that's not the way it worked out. Okay? And I don't like the way that it worked out. But there's also very little I can do about it. What I can do is I can be the full-time parent to the kids that I have in the future with my soon-to-be wife. And that's just the way it has to be. And I'm okay with that. And it's not replacing the kids that I already have or any of that crap. That's not what it is. It's... I wanted my life to go a certain way with certain people, and they didn't want the same thing I did. And I got basically shafted because of it, and it's fine. Well, it's not fine, it sucks ass, but at the same token, complaining about it doesn't get me anywhere, it doesn't get anything done. So this time, we're doing things the right way. We're getting married before we have kids. And we don't know when the exact day is. I need to figure out when the flower blooming time period is in this state that we're in, because I'm not sure. I'm not... Hey, look at that. Okay, I did not catch what that said. Zivu Aras Elite Hive? Okay, yeah, we need the bigger quest descriptions, and also I'll take those strange Hang on.
You noticed something?
Forgot something.
Oh.
Mr. Tentacle Face. Oh, what is going on? Why is it always when I'm playing Destiny 2?
Okay, here goes.
Alright, it's back up in the green. I don't know what happened there, but...
Do you mourn for the souls you shed?
Oh, that's a shame. Except I already have it. Well, I really wish I had the friggin' coinage to get this.
I know no reason to cause you harm.
Well, that sucks. So, Zur, or the one that I call Tentacle Face Babe, he has the yellow exotic items. He shows up about Thursday, Friday. I think it's Friday. Or Saturday, anyway. He was somewhere around there, and he's usually here until today at noon. If I didn't already have the Titan boots, they're not bad, but they're not great. That's good for a hunter class, and that's okay for a warlock. That one can heal itself, though.
I may be here when you return. If you are
I would like to know why I'm getting vertical separation, though. Like, what is going on? Maybe it's actually with the screen itself. You want to hold your hand over your TV thing so that way it don't do the thing.
Wait, why would my TV do a thing unless my TV was on?
Well, game mode is on. I'm just... Good question. I just didn't know if one of the buttons I'd push would automatically turn it on.
Oh, no. No, I don't think so.
I don't understand. There's no setting in the TV as far as I'm aware. Here. Oh, let's see if we can't go down to the advanced settings in the device itself. I think that's the stupidest thing Roku ever did. You have to connect your TV to the internet to rename something on your TV. It's like, why do you need to know what I'm renaming my stuff on my TV in my own private residence? Are you retarded? Check the system settings. Alright, so there's nothing there. It's got to be in the computer then. Like, these companies, they need to learn that there are limits to how much we'll tolerate as far as them, intruding onto our daily lives like that. I'll just have to deal with it for now. Hom tanks. That's funny. A little bit.
Let's see what we've got. I think I have something you will like. Let's find out.
Guardian. Heard you put on quite a show. I can work with this. Till next time.
Bad lately.
And now, hopefully, I can show my fiance the thing that I wanted to do so bad. And the reason I've been trying to grind up these levels on the season pass. And so I can get a certain shotgun sniper rifle combo. I actually already have it in my inventory. This is the rifle that I want, but more importantly for me is this shotgun because it's a solar element shotgun, and with the right perks and certain class abilities, you can have basically unlimited health and ammo if you know what you're doing. Before I go do that, okay, that's actually got a pretty decent power level to it, so deal with you later. No. this is the thing that I was afraid of. Is that I haven't unlocked the friggin' pattern yet because it was only good for that one friggin' shot. And let me guess. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. So I have to get 5 more of them. Isn't that just friggin' nice?
Pardon the noise. I have to blow my nose.
That's fine. So yeah, in order to use the shotgun, or to get the shotgun the way that I want it, I have to do that 4 more times.
Oof.
Yeah, so in order to get deep sight resonance, yeah, that can suck a nut. I'll just run with the guns that I got. Frig 'em. I mean, that right there is the one thing that would seriously push me away from this game very quickly if I have to deal with that every time I want to have a weapon that I can adjust the perks on, that I like the weapon. I mean, once is fine. I don't mind doing it the one time per weapon, but 5? Come on, guys. Really? It's just frustrating. Okay. Don't want to load in there fast enough, but if that's the event that I think it is. No. No, what's politically frustrating to me, though, and I know no one's really going to care, but it's just kind of a minor point of contention, is the media just got done lying to everyone about Biden's mental state for the last, like, 4 years, basically. 3.5. And now you're going to believe every word that they say when they say something bad about our current president. Because why?
Because people are sheeps and they'll believe what you tell them.
Apparently.
But not everybody is sheeps.
Well, no, not everyone, but like a decent portion of quote unquote normies out there that are not,
Informed.
actively informed in this stuff. They just believe whatever the news says without looking into anything.
You just went in a circle.
Yes, it did, because the thing that I thought was there wasn't there. So I'm going to try to go to another area that I think is pretty high in hive content and hopefully, oh, that was stupid. You know what? Uh-oh. Just as a heads. Yeah, hey Amanda. Here's the deal. I don't maintain a Discord. The only way to get a hold of me is either here or on Twitter, X. I refuse to maintain a Discord because of personal issues with Discord itself, and we'll never, probably not ever going to change that that thinking, because Discord's kind of a crap platform. But if you feel like looking at my stuff, maybe some political angles or whatever, on Twitter, here is the handle. Where is it? And to those of you on Rumble, this is also for X as well. In fact, call me crazy, but I think that's also my screen names in both Rumble and YouTube. Yeah, whatever. That is not where you belong. Okay. the fracturing's a little less once I take it out of full screen. Yeah. I'm not going to discourage people from using Discord. It is just a personal preference. And I'm going to leave it at that. My issues with individual platforms are issues between me and individual platforms. I have reasons for not doing Twitch, too. Until Dan gets his head out of his ass and stops censoring people that he doesn't agree with and stops promoting people who promote terrorism on his freaking platform, Twitch can eat a dick. No, I will not raise a single decibel of my voice in support for those causes. In the case of Discord, it's more because I don't agree with their moderation. Well, they could have changed it by now. Bear in mind, I'm operating off of fairly old information here, but they didn't used to really moderate anything to the point where people were actually getting hurt, like kids, and I said, fuck you. That's not going to happen. I will not be a part of that. And, you know, hell, the only reason I keep a Facebook anymore is just so I can pay my child support. Because actually, Facebook Pay has been pretty good. I will say that. It automatically keeps the records. I can pull up the entirety of the payment history in like 2 seconds. You know, and yeah. That, and there's no fees for using it, which if you've ever been involved in the child support system before, you'll know that if you use the service that a lot of state and local governments require, quote-unquote, require you to use, there's usually a $10 to $20 per payment fucking fee that they tack onto your child support. I don't have to deal with that with Facebook, and it's pretty awesome. I'm also going to point out that I think that that's kind of ridiculous that you're charging people after you charge them child support on top of the child support. You're going to charge them more money to handle the money. That's straight up retarded. So me and my ex, we decided to say fuck the government. We'll do it our own way and maintain our own records, which is why I like Facebook, because I can pull up the week by week payment, and if something happens with the courts, I can show them and be like, yeah, you know what, eat a fat one, I paid my fill, my share, you know. Okay, so I'm not actually seeing progress on that mission, I'm guessing. No, I'm not. Okay. We'll do a round or two in the nether. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I cocked an eyebrow at that one too. So in Destiny 1, there was a ship called the called the Dreadnought, and it was owned and operated. I know.
It says Dreadnought on the screen.
Yeah. It was owned and operated by a very angry alien named Oryx, who has a thing for forcing things to do his will, and his will is mostly just straight up violence.
I hear the thrumming of her war march. Zivurath is near.
I'm just gonna test a little theory here. Pretty quick way to test it too. So anyway, in Destiny 1, up over in that corner, there's a Cabal ship that's crashed into the side of it. They tried to overtake the Dreadnought. We tried to overtake the Dreadnought. Just about every faction in Destiny 1 tried to overtake the Dreadnought. And it ended up basically, you finished the King's Fall raid in Destiny 1. You kill Oryx, quote unquote, and his ship didn't disappear because it was still there, but for whatever reason we didn't have access to it in Destiny 2, which raised a lot of eyebrows. Alright. Well, it wasn't that. What the heck? I might have to Google a walkthrough on this one, because that was a yellow bar hive, and theoretically that should have worked. Baby. Him sitting pretty.
Yes, him is.
Again, I don't maintain a Discord. That is my X handle submitted to the chat. My schedules are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Occasionally you get a Wednesday out of me. Depending on, IRL situations. I do not maintain a Discord, and I don't think I'm going to. It's not even really a moderation thing on their part. It's just too many things can go bad with Discord, and I'm not gonna ruin my reputation or my channel's rep by having people on there that are either number one bots or number two just looking for a good way to screw me over, because I've noticed a lot of bad things happen on Discords, and I am not going to be responsible for that. You can just ask Jimmy, Mr. Beast, about that. And it's just not worth the headache of maintaining a Discord at this point. Same thing with Instagram. If you want my streaming schedule, I just gave it to you. Minecraft Monday, Destiny Tuesday, and Fallout Friday are definites, with the exclusion of emergency events. Wild Wednesday is optional. Wild Wednesday, of course, meaning random games. And also, it might not even be games, it might be random content in general, depending on the equipment that we maintain, that we can gather up. In fact, if there are any welders on here, or people who enjoy welding, maybe they don't do it professionally, but as a hobby, that might be on the cards as well. Maybe. I need to use that sniper here. Oh, I made progress on some. Yep. Okay, what did I kill? Anyway. Alright, that. I do not like the way the new armor looks. Yeah.
Reminds me of that one fish that has a see-through head and its eyes are actually looking up.
Yeah. I think I'll just stick with the armor that I got on. Also, my armor, despite not having the overflowing corruption or the seasonal perks or anything, it's got better perk totals anyway.
It also looks better.
Yeah. Glitch on the insurmountable skull fort.
That actually looks not half bad.
Yeah, no, that one's, this is one I thought that you would use if you had a Titan, actually. Not just because of that, but because of its abilities. Final blows with arc melees trigger health regeneration and fully restore melee charge. Melee hits grant arc melee energy. This is basically a punch build. And if I could get... Actually, if I could get my sister on there, I could have her jump in as a hunter with a couple of the bows and sniper rifles, and we could call her Judy and call you Punch. Batman joke. And then when we're in a party together and I'm in trouble, I can just holler, Judy, Punch! Oh, no one in this audience is gonna get that joke. I guarantee you no one has seen that particular Batman series. And I probably just aged myself by like 10 years just, thinking about that. But
You know what really makes me feel old? The fact that Pokemon is like 25 years old.
yeah, that doesn't help anything either.
No.
Okay, you are one of my targets. Oh, I hate doing this one. That's why I hate doing this one. It's gonna cost me a few lives to get it done. start getting ready.
You don't have to meet just yet.
Oh, I probably will, because he's still gonna go nuts just from being on that thing. But it's okay.
Not even close to 9:30.
Ah.
I forgot why I was hooking so I was awake. Why am I hooking him? It's not close to time for me to go yet.
Oh, you were there till 5. Oh, never mind. I ain't gonna hang around that long. It's just a really nice day out, and I was just thinking I could follow my fiance into work and just kind of meander around that area for a few hours. But then I looked at her schedule, and she doesn't get out until later, and I'm like, getting out for a few hours doesn't sound like a terrible idea, but like 7 or 8 is a bit much as far as how many hours I'd be out and about. So. Besides, what were you ride yourself back and forth to work on your e-bike? I don't know whether Donna would appreciate me being there for a prolonged period of time.
Probably not.
So.
At least not my whole shift anyway. It's a 6-hour shift.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at.
Are you muted?
No, I'm active.
Oh, you just said my boss is muted.
Pretty sure that's not gonna matter.
Okay. But yeah, the rest of the week is all 6-hour shift.
No, I was just thinking it's a very nice day out. It'd be nice to get out and about today, but like...
Your bike is... Your battery is plugged in, but it hasn't been plugged in very long.
No, but I could take the charger
And
with
your
me.
own heresy
True,
sits in
not to
fine
mention I
company
have
with
my bag
mine.
anyway, so...
Does this knowledge make you bitter, Sivu?
But I just...
Or does it terrify
Again,
you?
it's just because it's a nice day out. I kind of don't want to be stuck inside all day.
I can understand that.
While I am a gamer, I'm not only a gamer, and I feel like that's all I've been doing is gaming.
True. But you also don't want to bug my coworkers.
Well, no, definitely not. And, like, eating McDonald's a lot is not healthy for you at all.
No.
In
And I
fact,
do that when I'm at work for my lunch all the time anyway.
I actually have a lunch here. So,
At about the time you believe I would be on my way home, you want to go ahead and get started on what we're having?
sure. You want to get them out of the freezer, though? That way they're not.
Yeah, I can put them inside the freezer and start thawing. I will also put it in the freezer early.
All we have left is asparagus. I think there's some broccoli, and I think there's some spinach, so... Okay. And the only reason I didn't mention the California-style stir-fry mix is because that's for a specific chicken recipe.
And also it's more for food anyway, so why would you have it with veggies?
Well, actually, it's a pretty good combination of veggies just to eat on their own, but, you know.
True enough. If we want to do that, we can literally just make a stir fry with it.
And tomorrow night is Sloppy Joe night,
Oh,
which
can't go wrong with
means...
sloppy joes.
I'm not going to bother with french fries this time. We need to cut down on how many starches we're intaking anyway. Oh dear. Not much, Staples. Just getting stuff done. About to render off a phone call to a certain auto mechanic who's still got my friggin' car. And keeps telling me he's going to call me back, and I think he's going, I think a little bit of that main senility / Alzheimer's is kicking in because he keeps forgetting to call me back. So, 3 or 4 times. Third or fourth time he's forgotten to call me back. So, no, and if he keeps doing it, I'm going to call up Guy and have him go grab the car. Probably not going to be doing a long stream today. I've got other stuff that I also have to do today. The lawn is getting a little bit out of control, and I gotta figure out whether I destroyed that battery by leaving it where I left it. And the lawnmower.
Oh my! Why did you do that?
Because by the time we got around to getting it out of the lawnmower, some water had gotten into the battery holder and froze the battery in place.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't undo it without damaging the battery, so we decided to wait until it thawed out to go deal with it. Another reason we need the car, because if we need a new battery for the lawnmower, I have to go to Walmart, and that's too far away for those e-bikes to do it, technically. That being said, I can be up here until, at least until reset anyway. So that's going to be a hot minute. Yeah, I'll take the death on the chin, I guess. Ooh. One of these guys. That's gonna take a bit longer than I wanted it to. Oh, hey. You're here. I hate that. Oh, yeah. Come on. Follow along, nut job. Don't munch on them worms up there so I can do the thing. Uh, Yeah, I'm curious about that myself. Why did I just find a chess piece in the nether?
A chest piece?
Chess, as in the game.
Chest piece.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Huh. Well, I'll have to look into that later. For sure. Going in a little early.
No, just hooked into
She's not going right this minute. She's gonna sit back down for it.
Oh, I guess I'm taking that one on the chin too. Want my car back. Yes, it did.
Just wanted to make sure. sacrificing themselves?
To give that guy health. Once his shield drop, his health goes back up. It doesn't really matter that much because it doesn't really have much of an effect on me per se. It just means more ammo I have to dump into taking him down. Which is only a problem if that happens and you let it be a problem. Whatever. Oh, that's nice. Okay, well, that's fully charged. Ah, yeah.
Right off the tip.
Yeah. And that was stupid because there's revives limit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How many do you have left?
7 after that. Yeah. Well, I guess just go the long way, frigate.
Not gonna try to take a shortcut.
No. It's not worth it. Oh, okay. This actually isn't that bad.
Envy becomes you.
I mean, it's still kind of a pain in the nuts, but it's not
You
terrible.
were
10 minutes
unseated.
till you have to mute.
Be silent.
Yeah.
I was letting you know.
Thank you for letting me know. They definitely made this stage a little bit more interesting. I'm not sure.
Maybe he just knows that it's almost time for me to walk out it.
Yeah.
And so he's sitting right there watching it.
We're probably going to have to discuss doing different activities on these days anyway, because I don't think Destiny 2 per se is going to be shuttering any day soon. It's more a matter of...
You still want to do it every Tuesday? And you want to alternate between Destiny 2 and something else?
The problem with that is that it becomes inconsistent, and viewers like consistency.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe do...
I was actually more referring to the fact that while I do enjoy Destiny 2, nothing lives forever.
That is true.
Except for whatever reason for World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And while I do mostly enjoy Destiny 2, it would definitely suck to lose it as a title, but, you know, exactly. So I think we should probably have, it would be a good idea to have on a piece of paper or something a potential replacement should the time come that we need it. Maybe. I don't know, that's true. No, you got a point there. But I know that on the 5th of June, I'm going to be... I don't care what the day is normally scheduled as. It's going to be Nintendo Switch 2 release day. Which means if we have the console shipped to our house by that point in time, it's going to be... I'm going to start with Mario Kart World, going from one end of the world to the other. And seeing if it's actually worth the quote-unquote $80 that they're going to be charging it, quote-unquote, which...
It's just currently what they're recommending.
No, it most likely will be at this point. They haven't... If they haven't changed it by now with all the pressure that they've gotten, they're probably not going to. I just turned that into a blue ball.
Yes, you did.
That's funny. What are those?
You just popped the ball.
When it comes to these games like Destiny 2, like any other live service or MMO title.
There's nobody there.
Yeah, no, there isn't. He's just barking every time he hears a car. You know, no one expects them to keep this. Well, I mean, it'd be nice if they could keep them up indefinitely, but like, the only way that happens is if there's enough support for it, and there's no guarantee that you're going to maintain that level of support indefinitely.
Who knows? Maybe they'll have the Mario Kart game as that for your initial release, but if it doesn't sell well, they'll probably drop it.
Yeah, that's possible too, and that was the other thing that kind of irritated me, was a lot of these guys on YouTube were like, it's gonna be the new standard and all this other fear porn, and I'm like, you realize that those two properties that they have listed off at $70 and $80, and even $90 was a rumor at one point, you realize that those are first-party titles. They're allowed to adjust that price however they want, and it is a lot easier for them to push that price up and go down than it is to start at a low price and go up. In fact, it's nearly impossible to start at a low price and go up in the games industry. It's just not feasible unless you have a lot of DLC you're going to drop with it.
Like, you can go on the eShop and find the standard version of a game, and then they have the ultimate and deluxe versions, which have different levels of the DLC.
And part of the conversation that a lot of these online, influencers weren't having, that was kind of getting on my nerves, was Nintendo can set its own prices for sure, but so can other developers. $80 is not a new price point. In fact, there was an edition of what was it? It wasn't. I think it might have been Star Wars Outlaws that was being pawned around as being potentially a $120-something game for the special edition, with another edition being like $100 or $90 games. So like in my opinion, the fear porn wasn't justified. You're not going to be paying $80, $90 for a re-release of, like Undertale. That's not, I think a lot of people were getting their wires crossed on that. Just because Nintendo wants to push up the price tag of their first party titles does not mean that it's going to be, number one, it doesn't mean it's going to be industry-wide, okay? Yes, Nintendo may have set, I can't do that because I have something in my hand. Nintendo may set the metric for a couple of things, and price tags have been set by them in the past. But that does not mean that it needs to happen this time. Number one. Number two, they are not going to suffer from sales losses, obviously. So this whole cope of, oh, well, we'll just boycott the system or whatever, it's not going to happen, okay? It's a Nintendo product. Everyone and their brother wants quick, easy, they don't have to sit there and fiddle with graphics settings and deal with, computer overclocking or any of that crap. It's a system for people who just want to play games, okay? And those people, there are a lot... gamers don't like it when I say this. They really don't. But there's a certain harsh reality that they have to start waking up to. They're not the majority. The majority of people out there who play video games are everyday mom and pops who, they work at Walmart or they work at some distribution center for a different company, and they just want to come home, undo their boots, get out of their work uniform, and hit a button and jump into a world that's not their job and unwind. They don't want to sit there and have to fight with, oh, my VSync settings aren't acting right, or whatever the hell. Oh, what's on the other side? That's nice of them. So, hardcore gamers with like gaming PCs and settings that they have to adjust with on the computer themselves. I mean, yeah, PC gaming's not going anywhere. It's going to be with us for probably forever. But at the same token, you got to remember that how many people are actually going to sit there after, anywhere from a 4 to 12 hour shift and want to sit here and tool around with computer settings before they can just sit down, relax, and play a game that they like. The answer is not many. So, and while I personally wish that games were more... Okay. Love you, baby. Have a good day at work. He'll bark. Thank you. But the conversation's still going to be ongoing. One of the things that irritates me as a gamer is that I wish it was more catered to more advanced levels of gamers like myself and others. But at the same token, I realize that, while we may be the hardcore base, we're not the entire population, and I think it's probably time that we start realizing that we're not the entire population anymore. And I do blame COVID for that. So. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, we'll just keep pushing forward until well. I wish I could just get a phone call about my car. I'm kind of getting a little nervous. What is going on, OBS? You know what? It's all good. It's all good. It's just caffeine talk, and I had a monster with 300 milligrams caffeine in it for breakfast, so, you know, part of it's not even the game. making it so I have to mute my mic again. Alright, dog's gonna bark. I can't do anything about it, and people aren't really respecting the fact that I'm trying to stream today, so I'm sorry, folks, but we're just gonna have to play it the way that it is. I can't keep muting my mic and doing boss fights at the same time. It's just not working. Okay. Did the thing. Now where's my presents?
And what will you do to stop me? Come. My court is vengeance, and I will meet you there.
I can appreciate that the two of them have a beef, but kind of wish they could settle it on their own time and, you know, stuff. Well, I found 2 of the chess pieces. I'll just let the timer run out. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Mm. Oh, that's annoying. You don't want... It won't hurt anything. Just hang off of that for a little bit. Oh... Yeah, so... Oh, one of the Dragon Ball games is rumored to come to the Switch too? More interested in the fact that they mentioned Resident Evil 4 in that video. Maybe I'll watch it later. D&D animated Space Clown versus Space Kraken. I cast Pew Pew. Kind of sounds like Destiny 2 in a nutshell. Actually, the whole Destiny franchise, actually. You know, I'm not much for mobile games, but, that one that I saw mentioned on Twitter where they were discussing, a project potentially about doing the
Fill me with renewed
before Destiny 1 times thing. Sounded pretty interesting, actually. I know. You Destiny fanboy. I don't know, does a fanboy take an almost a year-long break from a thing? Um,
I think I have something you will like. Let's find out. Remain vigilant, Guardian. We may never quite be as safe as we think. New worlds mean new secrets. Your return honors me, Guardian.
I guess it's official. Gonna need someone to shut off the power. Time for a break. Strength in light.
Take a look. What do you need? I can work with this. Take it.
Just gonna take a
Let's talk.
You're being reassigned to the south wall. We have your back, Guardian.
That's actually not that bad.
Did you? No. You've been there a while. Yeah. No substitute for a full magazine. I can work with this. Stock's always changing. Don't take too long. Every little bit helps.
Please be Larry or Logan. Of course not. Why would it be?
Yep. Hit 'em hard. Let's get started. Till next time.
Checking. Let's check. You must have messages. Ready? Anything for you?
Um, I have questions. um,
Ready?
okay, so those are both energy weapons.
Anything for you?
Eververse isn't just a title.
Guardian.
It's a promise.
Done. Please, Guardian. It's busy.
Hey. Now, why can't you listen like that when people are taking off?
sometimes contain the greatest treasures, and sometimes, well,
Another fuzzy visitor, huh? Was that what you is? Huh? You being a little camera hog today? Come on, get up here. Oh. Let's go take a look at something real quick. No, maybe not that. Okay, I want one of those hats. They have the Vivi the Black Mage hat from Final Fantasy IX is now a purchasable item, and I want one of those hats. The problem is it's supposed to be a collector's item, and I'd wear it on a daily basis. Like, it would absolutely get me in trouble. I don't know, it's just a pretty neat looking hat. And a good way to keep the sun off your head. So... oh yeah, I got a birthday coming up. I don't have the links set up for it yet, but if you're pro Second Amendment and you do like to support the cause, so to speak, let me see if I can actually wrangle that up. I'm not sponsored by these guys. Nor am I getting any of the money from it, but I'm a very pro Second Amendment person, and I believe that so it's not actually my restoration. It's my resilience. And that is purely my body's here. Let me the extra 3 points are just kind of a goof. I don't actually know why it's up. I could actually dump that into something else. Intellect sounds fun, but do I have one that could actually benefit? Well, not directly, no. But if I can get one more point on that... I just have a really high resilience stat. Like, really high. And my resistance mods are kind of adjustable. So, you know, I can add whatever I want onto the chest piece. Based off of it also has to do with my orbs of power pickups. So it's kind of difficult to explain, but I will try my darnest. So when I'm in the Nether, there are some perks that are active as well. I wish they'd allow me to take a look. I don't know where to see that stuff without going to the actual Nether itself. Maybe her apartment. A lot of it is having a high resilience, and there are a lot of people out there who say you know, resilience, blah, blah, blah. You don't need 100 points in resilience. And I'm kind of like, no, but it's a really nice thing to have. If I plop over to my solar subclass, which is actually what this armor build was originally designed for, that high resilience to modest grenade gains. It was set up to where I was insta-gaining health back. Like I was insta-gaining health back. Like I was recovering more damage than they could do all the time, unless it was like an insta-kill or a wipe mechanic. Yeah. I am kind of curious, however. As far as I'm aware, that's not even something unique to Titans. I'm pretty sure every class can do it, but Hunters, from what I've been told, are like the ultimate in squish. So, I wouldn't know. My Hunter gets neglected all the time. You gotta feel out the game for yourself. It's not a... One of the things that annoys me more than anything else in Destiny 2. I understand that class that you're familiar with, that you're comfortable with. I hate... I'm going to use the word had here. I had a friend who was like that. Keyword had. He didn't last long on my friends list. This was on the Xbox One, which I also have now. My problem that I'm having is letting go of this build, because now that we have prismatics out, well, I don't have to let go of the build to do, and I could be dead wrong about this, like dead ass 100% wrong. But I'm gonna go take a look at Ikora to see if I can get any of the prismatic stuff. If not, there's quests that I need to do to unlock the stuff that I need. But effectively, when you're doing solar builds with Titans, you're either going for a damage buff or restoration, or cure and restoration, or cure and damage buff, depending on what you're doing. If you're... I forget which one it is, but one of them heals you and your teammates, the other one just heals you. I used to be the team medic, and I used to be pretty hard-hitting with some of the weapons that I had, which is why you see me with a lot of Ikelo's solar weapons, and why you see me trying to grab the customizable reshaped weapons and stuff. The thing is also not every thing in this game is easily defeated with solar damage. And I also don't know what shards, because I haven't actually stopped to read the prismatics yet. Yeah, they're not.
Looks to the Titans. Don't take that lightly.
I just need to close this up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's possible. It really depends on which subclass you're gonna use. Arc Titan, Ice Titan, and Void Titan, and Solar Titan all operate on different mechanics. Yeah, that's not even the thing that I want for this, but they won't give us all of the... If Prismatic gave us... I have to start from scratch. And it is just for deep sight weapons, and that's not really what I'm after. For it. If not, I don't generally care too much, except for one thing. That first line that has to do with dealing with unstoppable, barrier, etc. No, I got tired of playing the, oh, let's play with the artifacts and see what we can do.
But the witness still lives.
Man, my V-Sync is terrible.
Will face the witness.
I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but every so often when there's enough movement on the screen, it's like my screen's getting cut in half.
Final chance at freedom lies on that field. This enemy has taken so much from...
Well, like I said before, everyone kind of gets their own mileage in this game.
The witness started this war long
There's
ago.
probably going to be about 3 Destiny 2 pros that could jump into this chat and argue where I'm wrong, but that's just what's worked for me. It's a lot easier if you're an old school gamer. Like, I don't like using World of Warcraft, Neverwinter or something like that, right? They can come out with all kinds of new stuff for sure. It's just better, I feel, for players to get comfortable with how they play, how they know how to play, instead of having to jump through every hoop in the book that's demanded of them by either the game or other players. And, you know, it's a lot better for people to have that diversity and variety of what they like to do. And if it happens to be an already legitimate build, big deal. You know, I make tweaks to my builds all the time, but demanding me to change my build completely to suit someone else's playstyle is not going to happen. And I will take all the heat in the world for that comment and not care. Don't want me in your raid party? Fine, I'll start my own and I'll jump into it with a bunch of my friends that I know don't care about what I'm using. I'm not going to see if you can get over it. I've had to have that conversation a billion times with people. Destiny 1 was another one. The self-res warlock. I used to love playing as a self-res warlock when I wasn't playing as my Titan. And my friends used to give me crap for it because it wasn't helping the team enough. And I'm like, I'm the one that's alive after y'all are dead, going around picking you up off the floor. How is that not helping the team? They didn't like my attitude on that subject, so I got kicked. And I shrugged and I said, I don't care. So, if you're having trouble getting your health back, are you just having trouble with it in the Nether or everywhere else in the game too? I guess that's kind of the... Well, I mean, yeah, and it could be something simple too, because like if you're doing stuff in the Nether, it just depends on what perks you grab when you're going through the Nether. You know, I like to go for classical restoration if I can find it, because then you deploy your class ability and instant rest. You know, I don't want to sit here and wait for this forever. So can we just like move things along? This is interesting. I haven't been in too many play modes where I've actually it's a place to start, but don't forget to look at what activities you're struggling in to see. It could just be as simple as one of your normal mods too. It could be something as simple as you don't have the right Nether stuff if you're having trouble in the Nether. You're gonna have to look through it. I've lost almost half of the people that were loaded up to do this activity. What the crap? Now I've lost half of it, I guess. That or today being reset's probably just a bad day to try it. It's something called Excision. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably have to wait till after the reset to jump back in and do that. I'm not a big PvP person. That's one of those things I jump in to do if it's a part of a quest or something, but 12 people in a PvE event is kind of nutty for Destiny, though. I'm kind of interested. Nah, I got way better things to do than PvP. I have enough things IRL that get my blood pressure. Both of them, and I'm one of them. Okay, that's a lot of people. This is gonna be a little bit hectic, I think.
This is what we were made for. I'm with you until the end.
Empress, we have an opening. Send in our forces.
Okay, let's see if we can... Oh, that's a friendly. Yeah. Screw it, we'll just go back to the good old weapons. I have to do something about him. It looks like he despawned anyway. Maybe.
Never let it be said
Yep.
I wasn't here when it counted.
There's way too much going on at once.
forces are closing in. Help me stop them.
Vanguard Command, we're close.
We are the edge that carved purpose into being. Your resistance.
Open and kill everything in sight, I guess. Thanks, Shax.
Nimbus, you're clear to drop. In and out. Guardian, watch for their move.
An instrument of sharpest ruin for your hand.
Oh yeah. Gotta love that. Wait, there's a map I'm supposed to stay on? Peppermint.
You do not matter.
Just like the last time, Guardian. Destroy the statue.
We are one.
I have my volume turned down just enough. I'm not gonna say what that sounded like. Oh. Yeah, I took that one right in the freaking face, didn't I? And let me guess, you have to be on here to actually... Yep. Yeah. That would be a small problem. My messed with.
Nimbus is above. They're dropping aid.
My assistance comes to you soon. Don't cut yourself.
laggy, wasn't it?
There it is. That's our shot. All together now. Let's hit it.
A paltry resistance.
Do you feel it, Guardian? Your work is not yet finished.
The synaptic spear is ready for your hand.
Take this. Use it in the elegant...
Had to give him a punch just for existing.
We will not yield.
You say that like I'm gonna give you a choice.
We deny you. We are salvation.
Here and now, Guardian. All right, we've got it on the run. You show that shape, it ain't final.
What was made can be unmade. I know what to do. Guardian, channel the Traveler's light through me. I'm ready.
Bye bye.
I don't understand.
That's it. We did it. We did it.
Yeah, no, there's way too much going on for me to track. Holy crap. That's like taking a PvP match where you have literally... is sad.
Ghost? He's just a ghost. You raised an army. You can bring back one ghost.
He sure shined bright back there, huh? My gal Sundance told me that. She also said we're all connected. Guardians, ghosts, a traveler. Now you tell the others this was my choice. You're my favorite. Don't ever forget that.
I guess you can't have it both ways, can you? I like Cade. But, I mean, I kind of get it.
It's definitely healing, but we've still got a lot of work to do. Surviving witness forces, clashes with the Lucent Brood.
Okay, that's kind of adorable.
Different.
Well, Guardian, Ghost, you're just in time. Tell them.
You're right. For now, our task is appreciating this moment.
And after
I gotta make the thumbnail for doing my warlock.
we'll face the future when it comes.
That one's next. Well, if I remember correctly, the lore surrounding the Exo race, we could end up seeing a Cade 7 at some point. Maybe. Yeah, that'd be nice. But I don't know how that's going to play out. Never know. I always kind of like the artwork for some of these. I always got a kick out of that one. Yes, I like long walks on the beach, crushing my enemies, blowing up parts of planets, and knitting. Hey, it's Sokka as a blue-skinned adult. Oh, man. Still, though, the concept art is pretty cool to look at. Hey. Well, I guess that wraps. Of course, because I have no idea what that says. I know Gradius is thank you. Yeah, it's gone. Oh, whatever. Probably thank you for playing. Are those new ghosts?
The witness's death spread like a shockwave through its troops. How salvation is turned on itself, with Aramis nowhere to be seen. Savathun and the Lucent Brood are trying to claim control of the Pale Heart. With the witness dead, both Scorn and Taken are directionless. To put it simply, in the wake of the witness, a power vacuum has been created in the universe. Who knows what will try to fill it? But out of all of this, the most worrying thing is an aurora. It's bleeding out of the Traveler. Light and darkness venting into open space over Earth. We designated a no-fly zone within 100 kilometers of the aurora, enforced by Alliance cruisers. So far, no one has tested it. During Neptune and Jupiter, in the orbital path of Nessus, then we lost track of it. I've got hunters in the field investigating.
Thank you, Crow. I'll leave it to you.
Copy that. I'm headed back out to the field myself. I need to see if I can pick up Fickrell's trail.
How interesting. Saying. But make the texture on the back of the shirt like that weird 3D, like as you move the shirt, it changes the way it looks. Probably not too many big Harry Potter fans in Destiny 2's chats. Like when you moved the poster, it would change which version of the newspaper you saw. It was pretty cool. I liked the way it looked. I want to get that kind of material and start designing stuff on it. I think that'd be pretty badass. And master version of that? Bro, that's nuts. You could have... Just had a thought about something that kind of irritates me a little bit. They send us to school where they precisely time our lunches every single day, and yet I don't remember working at a job once in my life where my lunch was precisely timed the way that school had it. Like, if you're going to try to brainwash people's bodies effectively into a pattern, you need to make sure that the pattern is the pattern that exists. Otherwise, screw the pattern. I just thought of that because, like, we've been cutting down how much we eat so we can lose a little bit of weight. Not like full-on starvation, but, you know, 1 egg instead of 2, 2 slices of bacon instead of 4, 1 slab of Texas toast versus like 2 or 3. You know, the usual cut downs, basically. And, like, it just got me thinking about food for a minute and how we eat every day. It's like, excuse me, last like 3 weeks I've lost 10 pounds. So, you know, instead of, so I used to have this really bad habit of like sitting down and grazing on, you know, instead of making a serving for me, it'd be like 3 servings and I'd eat all 3 of them to myself, kind of thing. And it was more like I'd make enough because I was hungry at that moment, and then what have we got here? Huh. Just better rationing, but it got me thinking, like, you know, school scheduling. You'd eat breakfast before like what 7 o'clock sometimes just to get to school. Sometimes it was like 6, and then lunch was like precisely at like 11 or 12, and depending on what school you went to, or maybe even 1, or what lunch block you ended up with, depending on the size of the school you went to. And then you get a job, right? And it's like, okay, so we need you to work for 6 hours and then take a lunch at whatever time we tell you to. And then after that, you can go home and have your dinner after like 4 hours or whatever. It's like, that is not like school at all. My body is not used to that. It's just, it was, why set up people to be in that kind of a pattern if you're just going to throw it out the window in the private industry? It just makes no sense. And, like, so I used to work at Walmart for automotive stuff, and they used to have rules where we couldn't eat on the sales floor. So we used to pop out for a smoke break, which was effectively just grabbing a Slim Jim out of our lunchbox and was stepping out back just so we could get something in our system to maintain over the course of the shift. Right. See, my issue is not making money, right? Like, I come home from doing stuff outside of streaming. I do under the table work around town. And, like, I just want to sit down, play video games, and not do anything. And I know that's terrible, but, like, I need to motivate a little bit more.
Let's see what we've got for each other. There is hope for humanity.
Oh, yay, the boots I'll never use. I might, just to see what they do. Must have missed a thing.
There is hope for humanity yet, with guardians such as you.
There's 2 things. Don't have. If I had the energy I had when I was like 10, I probably wouldn't be streaming. I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably be... Well, I would, actually. I'd be streaming, but I'd be streaming me doing bike jumps and backflips and stuff on mountain bikes. Like a dummy.
Feels strange to come back to the tower. I look over at the ramen counter and half expect to see Cade. I almost got used to having him back. It's been years since I felt that pain. But now it's softer. Nostalgic. Stay strong, Titan.
I don't need to worry about that. The sad part is that, yeah, I'm fat and I do get out of breath, but it didn't slow me down. The only way to slow me down was to stop me by making me go completely out of breath. Happens when I do actually lose, you know, when I go down from being very interested to see how my physiology reacts to that. That's a very interesting concept that I didn't really consider. Is that the... No, I'm not on... Okay. Yeah, 240's still a pretty high number. Harder.
We're all connected. I can feel him.
You know, this is gonna make me sound like a pig.
Sundance too.
I wish we could change his voice to a female's.
Purpose to the universe. But purpose is ours to choose. Our fates are ours to make.
Just like
Kate decided his
hire
was to reunite us.
Liv Taylor or something
Now we
from
get to ask the
Lord of the
question
Rings or
witness
some
would
shit.
allow anyone to.
Someone.
What do you want our future to be?
Oh look, more guns. You know what? I just need that one more point, and that should ice off that part of that quest. So. Whoa, babe. That is some strong Gatorade. What'd you do? Dump half of the jar in there? Oh! Probably don't need lunch after drinking that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pour that in a glass with some water to cut that. That's a bit much for me. Something important. Yeah, I should really probably. Ah, crap. I pushed the wrong button. That's okay. That's alright, because I gotta check these. Aha. That's a shame. Yeah, I'm pretty close to actually having 7. It's what? 3 things I gotta do? Hey, not a problem. Feel free to drop me a message in here anytime you have any questions. That being said, though, I know I said what I said about that Gatorade, but my stomach is starting to do some funky stuff. So I'm probably going to sign off just to be polite. And I really wanted to do a round of Crucible before I got off, though. You know what? We'll try it again. Maybe it'll boot me back in. I don't really want to do it, but it's a quest step, so... Actually, I'll mute my mic while I wait for this, and I'm going to try to call my mechanic. See what's going on. So, the car is just about done. He said it'll only be a few hundred. The problem is the catalytic converter on the backside was clogged, not the one on the front. That one was fine. Sorry, I'm...
You have thrown the car. 2 for 1. Triple down.
Oh man, I'm so fucking psyched. Oh.
Zone B lost. Power play. Enemy has your zone. Zone C captured.
Yeah, I'm so psyched for my car to be fixed. I don't even care. You guys can win as long as I get my 1 point.